a hell of a year. I'ma make it count while I'm here. God is the only man I fear.
In the morning, on your radio, everybody listening to the Lick Show. Yeah. Love is cool with Kels, don't you know? We got AJ and Calipo. And what's the number one radio? 92.3. The Lick. It's the morning show. It's the morning show. The Lick morning show. The Lick. It's the morning show. It's the morning show. The Lick show.
I just wanna lick show and chill. I just wanna lick show and chill. I just wanna lick show and chill. I just wanna lick show and chill.
You're mad, I'm back. Big mad, he's mad, she's mad. Big fat, ha. Don't care, stay mad.
You're listening to the best morning show in Atlanta. The Lick Morning Show.
All right, and we back. The Lick Morning Show hits 92.3, and we had a blazing topic this morning. So the phone lines are officially open. So I always turn the ringer down because the phone will ring before we even get our points across. So if you want to touch on this topic, and if you are just tuning in and you did not know what the topic was, we asked, a couple separates and one has a baby with someone else during the separation, then suddenly dies. Money is left to the spouse. Should the spouse share the money left with their separated spouse's new family? So pretty much say you're the one, you're married, you're separated, your spouse goes and has a child with somebody else. Your spouse dies. Are you responsible for giving your spouse's new child or new family any of the money? AJ and I was pretty much in accord as far as we don't feel like the wife or the husband that is not having the child outside of the relationship should be financially responsible in any kind of way. What you do while you're separated is your business. That has nothing to do with me. But you being legally tied to me, that money comes home to me. So I don't feel like that person is entitled to anything. However, there was some comments that said that it would be nice if that person was to give them something. That is the nice part, yes. That's a nice thing to do. But that you shouldn't make a person feel like if they don't do it, then they're a bad person. So if you feel like it's a nice thing to do if they do, you can't hold them accountable if they don't. That's completely up to the person if they want to go that route. So again, how this even came up, Eric Gardner's girlfriend, and this is allegedly, so I don't even know if this whole situation is even real, but it has been floating all around social media. And the post itself says, lesson about being a side chick. This is Eric Gardner's girlfriend and the baby he had with her. At the time, a New York cop choked him to death. Garner was no longer with his wife, but had never gotten a divorce. He lived with his girlfriend. But guess who won the $5.9 million settlement? And it goes to the wife. So it pretty much says the hashtag was wife wins, and then the other hashtag said papers are important. And I absolutely feel the same way. So the wife got $5.9 million when Eric Gardner passed away, and the girlfriend and the child she shared with Eric Gardner got nothing. And this is what I said on it, because AJ tagged me in it. I didn't initially see this post, but AJ tagged me in it, and it has thousands and thousands of comments. And so a lot of people agree with me. There was, of course, 2 people who didn't. So my reply was, because I kept seeing, I read some of the comments first before I commented myself. And the one lady pretty much, well, not one lady, it was a lot of people. Most of the comments were, it would be a nice thing to do. A lot of the comments was like, hell no, go about your life. A lot of people's comments that always annoy me is that the child is innocent. Of course the child is innocent, and so is the spouse that had nothing to do with getting somebody pregnant or getting pregnant. They were innocent too. So my comment to it was, I never understood why people say the child is innocent like the wife deserved it. She wasn't thinking about that innocent, she as in the side chick, so I'll say that. The side chick wasn't thinking about that innocent baby when she got pregnant and kept the baby. As the wife that would have 0% to do with her, as it wouldn't if he were still alive. What one does while separated or with someone legally tied to another person is the gamble that you take. So somebody commented to my comment, and she said, did she get pregnant by herself? And they were not together. They had been separated for 2 years, so the child is innocent. It's sad people don't hold men accountable when producing the seed. Shaking my damn head, but okay. That was her reply to me. So then I came back and I said, did the wife get pregnant with the chick? Because the first thing she said was, did the chick get pregnant by herself? I said, did the wife get her pregnant? The mom would have to hold that man accountable. She laid down with him. If he dies, that ends the connection with him. They laid down and they had the child. That's a them problem. She knew what she was doing, whether he's around or not, like any other mother. That child would have to be taken care for. That child has 0 ties to do with the wife. The child and the wife are both innocent. What's sad is assuming these women should band together. The wife had nothing to do with the life he created while still tied to her. She's equally as innocent as the child. That's not that woman's baby. That money, I said, that's not that woman's baby. The money is, though, legally. So someone else came in and said, us, in quotations, as women have to have higher standards. I don't care if it's separated, entanglement, etc. I'm not dealing with it, period. Better finalize that divorce, and most of the time, men don't finalize it, or they run from the papers as a way to control and keep some sort of attachment to go back. Folks be separated 10 years, and reality, they just have an open relationship. True. I'm just now reading some of these. Somebody else came in and said, him and his wife were no longer together. It doesn't say whether the baby mama broke up the marriage or were they already separated for however long before he started dating the baby mama. It's other factors that come into play before pointing fingers and giving blame. Hell, the wife could have left him for all we know, and in a different relationship herself. Who knows? Which is true. Somebody else commented to me, I understand what you're saying, but they probably was separated before he started messing with the new woman. It takes two, and it would fall on the man. No telling what he might have told her when he first started messing with her and she ended up getting pregnant. They might have decided to stay together, and he was working on his divorce before his death. And at the end of the day, the wife deserves better, and the baby does too. But it's probably the wife might have a man too. So it all depends. No matter what, the child is innocent and cannot speak up or take care of herself. The wife can move and live with her millions in peace. She is grown. Exactly. And so other people were saying exactly. So yeah, I just feel like it would, somebody said, I agree, it is a nice gesture. You have to be a big-hearted person and completely untied to feelings of your man or your woman having a child with somebody else, and y'all still have open ends that need to be tied. So I always say, I feel like that's a gamble you take when you deal with somebody that is tied to somebody else. Your friends, your family, I'm sure all different types, and this is me talking to a side dude or a side chick. You always have people in your corner that'll tell you, don't get too attached, don't get your feelings involved, don't treat it like it's a legit relationship, because at any point, they can go back. And a lot of times you always hear stories of a person always going back to their mate. Something happened between the two of them. They either got put out or they left, or they was mad about some things. Once they come to and realize what's at home and what's at stake, even if it's not love, if it's business, property, kids, whatever the case is, can be love. Sometimes, a lot of times, most times, they do go back home. and then you're stuck in whatever situation that you're in. So those are the gambles that you take when you're dealing with somebody, period. But it's another gamble on top of, it's just an unnecessary gamble to take when you deal with somebody that's legally married. Being with somebody for umpteen years, then yeah, you can be like, okay, it's a possibility they might be, completely broken up and they won't get back together. But to take somebody serious that is separated for somebody else, I wouldn't personally jump into something like that until they actually sign the damn papers. When you sign the papers, that lets me know that that relationship is done, because there's a possibility 2 weeks from now, 6 months from now, 2 years from now, 7 years from now, you can decide to go back. And if you don't go back, you can get into a situation exactly like this one. You end up moving on. 5 years from now, you're like, okay, obviously they're not going back to that relationship. And you get pregnant, or you get somebody pregnant, and you think, life is great. It's just going to be this, that, and the third. Pass away, and the wife, even outside of having a child, let's just say you're dealing with somebody and there's no child involved. They are the ones that get to make the decisions on the funeral. If they get hurt, they're the person that makes decisions of what happens at the hospital. So you have no legal ties of anything serious happening. You're pretty much just having a fun time, and it means nothing legally. It can mean something to both of y'all, but it means nothing to the system that you signed your name on and you have legal documents for. So when you deal with somebody in a situation with somebody else, that is literally just the gamble that you take, and you got to take the consequences to do with all that. Some people were saying that they don't hold the men accountable. It's not up to the wife to hold the man accountable. That's literally her issue. That's her problem. That's her situation. She's got to figure out how to fend without that woman's husband now. She's got to figure out how to fend with the whole situation. Now, would I give that child some money? It depends on where I am. It's a whole lot of factors that can play in that whole entire situation. So let's just have a scenario where they were separated for 2 years and she had a whole nother relationship somewhere else. And, she didn't have any bad ties with him. They were still cool. They didn't have any issues with each other. They just literally weren't together anymore. If that was the case, then yeah, out of the kindness of my heart, because I still love and care for him, I just don't want to be with him no more. I want to make sure that his child is taken care of. Or if I want to have some type of relationship with that child because that was my husband's child, then yeah, I can see the woman helping out. But if they were separated and they just weren't trying to get back together, they were arguing, he still owe money for this, he ain't paying bills at the house, he over there playing house with this chick, he not taking care of his kids, he over there taking care of her kids, and he passed away and the money's left to me, then no, this money goes to me and mine because he was over there playing with you and yours. So it depends on where I am in the situation, because at the end of the day, I don't have to. That's the thing people don't realize. The wife that gets the money doesn't have to do anything. If the money is legally sent to her, she won that money fair and square, it was inherited to her, whatever the case is, whether it's money, whether it's property, whatever it is. If it's legally given to her, then she legally has the right to do what she wants to do with it. And you can't fault her for not having a quote-unquote big heart to take care of somebody else's seed that they created while still in an entanglement with her. So that's just how I feel about it. The phone lines are open. If you want to call in, you can. The telephone number is 404-254-4347. Again, that telephone number is 404-254-4347. We're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we're going to take some calls, and we're going to get into what's the lick in news and entertainment. And then it will be time for DJ Chuck's Breakfast Mix. After that, it will be attorney Jay Everett in the building, and she's going to give all of you fathers the tea on what to do to legitimize your children. So we got a dope lineup for you. So don't go too far. We'll be right back. Lick Morning Show, Hits 92.3.